The Falmouth Commodores have officially been eliminated from the 2021 playoffs, but that doesn't mean that this team doesn't want to end the season on a high note as they open tonight the back end of a home and home with the Wareham Gatemen. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Gov Fuller Field. David Adar here alongside with Matt Levine as Falmouth has just 2 games remaining in this 2021 season. Tonight against the Gatemen and tomorrow night against the Bourne Braves. And Matt, for Falmouth as of late, it's been a bit of a rough stretch. 3 straight games, and in that span, the team has officially been eliminated from playoff contention.
Well, they've run into teams that just have hit the cover off the baseball over the last 3 days. Katuitt scored 16 runs, then put up 12 runs against the Commodores last night. The Gatemen put up 7 runs. Commodores' offense was a little bit shaky last night. They still scored 4 runs, but the offense from the other teams that they're playing have just been prolific over the last 3 games, and that's a tough thing to run into when you're trying to make a run to the playoffs. The run is officially over, but now you'll start to see them probably play a little bit looser and have some more fun with it over the next couple of days.
And so losses to both Katuitt and then Wareham last night, part of the reason that this Commodores team now eliminated from the playoff race. But that doesn't mean that this team still doesn't want to play well down the stretch here. We've talked with the coaches and some of the players over these last few days, and they've told us that despite the fact that the playoff hopes are gone, they still want to play as a team and enjoy the remaining days they have and still show some of that fight that they've had all season long.
At the end of the day, it's still baseball. You're guys like this that play at this level, at this high in college, they're never going to go out there and just say, you know what, we can't make the playoffs, it's over, why don't we just scrap it? They're going to go out there and play as hard as they can, as if they were in the championship game right now. And that's just the mentality that they have at the highest level of the game. So we're going to see them go out and, like I said, just be a little bit looser, more relaxed. And they know that there's not really anything to play for in terms of winning or losing now. It's just have fun, like the old days when you're playing wiffle ball in the backyard, just things like that. Last couple of days with guys that they've played with all summer, and everybody has said how much this summer has meant to them, just the relationships they've made and how much that's helped their baseball career. So the last couple of days here down the stretch, it's going to be sad in the end, but they're going to play as hard as they can and as hard as they have all season.
Well, we'll see what Falmouth is able to bring out tonight, but a back end of a home and home tonight with the Wareham Gatemen. Last night, a tough loss up at Spillane Field. It was the first loss of the summer to the Gatemen for this Falmouth team entering the game yesterday. Falmouth was 2-0-1 against the Gatemen on the year, but a loss last night, and you see the team again here tonight. Falmouth just finished up a couple days ago a home and home with Katuitt, and that didn't go too well for the Commodores, but how do you see tonight going, coming back home against the Gatemen?
They just gotta put some offense together because their pitching hasn't struggled in terms of giving up free passes. They haven't walked too many guys over the last 3 games. They haven't hit too many batters. The defense was solid last night, no errors in the game, but they're getting hit against by opponents. The opponents have just hit the cover of the baseball, finding gaps and things like that. So if the offense for Falmouth can do that tonight, they'll be in a different part to try and win a game or just play more competitive, because 4 runs last night is still good. They scored 9 against Katuitt and then 6 as well the game before that. So their offense has been there. It just needs to match the opponent. And last night they went 5 1/3 innings without a hit to start the game from Adam Major on the mound. So tonight, just change that up a little bit. Maybe go out there, and if you're Cody Colden, who's leading off tonight, swing at the first pitch and get a base hit and start something for this team.
Antoine Jean will have the start for the Commodores tonight as he makes his 5th start of the season for this Falmouth team. And before we send it to our public address announcer, Eric Jones, just want to take a moment to look at the wall behind us here. Some of our interns here with the broadcast and media crew having the opportunity today to sign the wall, and as the years progress here at the Gov, this wall will continue to get added to. So we're going to send it down now to our public address announcer, Eric Jones, and when we come back here from the Gov, we'll have the pitching matchups between Falmouth and Wareham. Welcome back into Gov Fuller Field. David Adar alongside Matt Levine with you here on an overcast night in Falmouth for game number 35 on the season for the Falmouth Commodores, who come in with a 14-18-2 record on the year, and they host the Wareham Gatemen with a 13-18-5 record on the season for the final time on this 2021 year. Matt, the season has absolutely flown by, and I know we said it in the pregame show, but I feel like every time I say it, it just feels even crazier and crazier that we're already at the 35th game of the year and that we've got just 2 games remaining in the 2021 season.
Well, when we looked back months ago when the schedule was made, it was 40 games in 46 days. No doubleheaders, no extra innings. So right there, you're already shortening days and you're shortening games. And then no makeup games for rainouts. The Commodores have had 4 rainouts up to this point. None in the second half of the season, which is remarkable, but 4 in the first half of the season. And so now they're scheduled to play just 36 games. So that goes by even quicker than the 40 games in the 46 days. We've barely had any time off. It's been just baseball every single day, but that's the way we like it, and that's what we want. But unfortunately, it's gone this fast, and just wish you could go back maybe a few weeks ago and take it all in a little bit more.
Some rain expected in the forecast tomorrow, so we're really keeping our fingers crossed that the Commodores can get in that last game of the regular season, that it doesn't end up ending tonight here at the Gov. But let's take a look at our pitching matchup tonight between the Commodores and the Gatemen. Antoine Jean will take the mound for Falmouth, making his 5th start of the season. Comes in with an 0-1 record on the year over his 14 1/3 innings of work, a 5.65 ERA for the Alabama pitcher. And Matt, his last start for Falmouth coming back on July 27th in a 10-5 win for the Commodores here at home against Hyannis.
Well, he got a lot of run support in that game. Didn't go 5 innings, so couldn't get a decision, but he pitched well. The problem that he had in that game was 4 walks in the 4 innings. If he can go out there and limit that tonight, he'll be obviously a lot more effective. So that's what raised his pitch count and forced him to come out after 4 innings.
And taking the mound for the Gatemen will be Blake Soderston out of Cal State Northridge, a guy who's making his 3rd start of the season, but his 4th appearance for this Wareham team. And he comes in with an 0-0 record over 11 1/3 innings and has yet to give up a run over those 11 1/3 innings on the season. Commodores faced one of the best pitchers in the league last night at Spillane Field in Adam Major, and tonight they get another really solid arm in Blake Soderston.
Well, you said it. He hasn't allowed a run, and he hasn't allowed, obviously, an earned run either in that span, 11 1/3 innings. So 10 strikeouts to 3 walks as well. He's allowed 5 hits in 11 1/3. He's a guy that hasn't really gone the distance, though. His longest outing, 4 1/3 innings, and the Wareham Gatemen have lost all 3 of the outings that he's appeared in. Obviously, he hasn't given up a run, so he's not the reason that they've lost those games. He has an 0-0 record, but still a trend that has gone the way he doesn't like, but we'll see how the Commodores attack him tonight.
So Falmouth comes into tonight losers of 3 straight, 2 to Cotuit, and then last night to these Gatemen at Spillane Field, but an opportunity to try and close out the season on a high note tonight against the Gatemen and then tomorrow night against the Bourne Braves. The Commodores take the field here at Gov Fuller Field in front of the fans that are out tonight to support this team, and again, just keeping our fingers crossed that we're able to play tomorrow night as there's some rain in the forecast here in Falmouth and across the Cape as well. But temperatures tonight sitting a little bit cooler in the low 70s, 72 degrees, the current temperature here at the Gov with overcast skies. As you can see, the light's already on here at the Gov. Typically, for a 6 o'clock start, we're able to get through 2 or 3 innings before the lights have to come on, but already turned on here for the pregame as Falmouth has taken the field here, and defensively for the Commodores tonight, we'll start in the outfield. Michael Curiali is in left, Luke Boyers in center, and Jace Borfin is in right. Moving into the infield, Casey Buford out of Grambling State gets his 1st start of the season for Falmouth. Cody Colden is at short, Braden Taylor is at second, and Chris Armstrong is at first. And doing tonight's catching is Taylor Smith, and Antoine Jean takes the mound for the 5th time this season for this Falmouth team. And leading things off for the Gatemen, playing in their 37th game of the season, is Cade Fergus, who is a late addition to this lineup in place of Tres Gonzalez. So Cade Fergus out of George Washington will step up to the plate. And we'll get going here in just a moment from Guff Fuller Field as the righty steps in. The lefty Jean is set. And the first pitch of the night comes in for a ball as first pitch is at 6:04 here at Guff Fuller Field. Cade Fergus on the season hitting .269 for this Gatemen team. Last night went 2 for 4 and hit a 2-run homer in part of the 7-4 win for the Gatemen at Spillane Field. That was the first win of the year for the Gatemen over this Commodores team. Prior to that, Falmouth had a 2-0-1 record against this team. It was the only team that Falmouth had been undefeated against, but last night ended up losing that one on the road, which closed out the road schedule. And here tonight and tomorrow night against Bourne. This one lined right back up the middle, and an early base hit for Cade Fergus, who has his 15th base knock of the season, and he's aboard to start off the ball game.
Well, he had a great night last night, and he starts it off well tonight. He batted 9th yesterday, and tonight he bats first. So he was obviously a late addition, like we mentioned, but still, that's a different mentality in the 9 spot and the 1 spot. Just going out there, attacking early in a count, and trying to get on base as a leadoff hitter is exactly what he did tonight.
Here's Jim Jarvis out of the University of Alabama, guy who's been playing really well for this Gatemen team as of late. It's a ball hard but foul down the first base line. Jarvis 9 for his last 15 over the last 4 games that he's played in, which is a .600 average. Tonight playing in his 36th game for this Gatemen team. He and his fellow college teammate Owen Diodati, the 2 guys on the Wareham team who have played the most on this summer season, have only missed just 1 game that this team has played up to this point. Jean ahead in the count here, 0-2 on the shortstop Jarvis. Give you the rest of the Gatemen lineup here in just a moment. As the 0-2 comes home from Jean, blooped into the left side of the infield, and Cameron Buford makes his first action as a fielder for this Commodores team for the first out of this ball game. We've already seen Fergus and Jarvis. Coming up now, the 3-hitter Tommy Troy. Behind him, the cleanup man Owen Diodati. Batting 5th is Jack Brannigan. The 6-hitter is Jimmy Crooks. Batting 7th, Cameron James. Kellum Clark is the 8-hitter, and Cade Kern rounds out this lineup in the 9 spot for the 13, 18, and 5 Gatemen. And the first pitch to Tommy Troy is taken low for a ball. Troy, another guy who had a good night last night, went 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs in the win over this Falmouth team. And he lays off strike 1 as the count goes even. This Gatemen team, despite being 5 games under 500, has a lot of really impressive bats. You've got Jarvis, who picked up the first out, batting .298. Troy here is batting .301. Tres Gonzalez, who is originally in the lineup tonight, the second best hitter in the CCBL, sporting an average above .330. And then they've got a couple of other guys in the lineup who are hitting close to .300. As another play for Buford, and they'll get the lead out at second. Throw over to first, not in time, but there's now 2 gone here in the top of the first.
Now batting the left fielder from the University of Alabama.
Buford's looked comfortable, a ball in the air and a ball on the ground, and he took that to get the lead out at second. That's the right play there. Probably couldn't turn a double play, which they didn't, because running hard down the line was Tommy Troy, and if you throw over to first, then you got a guy in scoring position anyway, so it's smart to go there to second to try and get the lead out.
2 gone now for the cleanup man, Owen Diodati, and running on the pitch is Tommy Troy. The throw down to second, and Taylor Smith got him. Troy was looking for his 10th stolen bag of the season, but Taylor Smith says otherwise, as Antoine Jean able to face the minimum here on the top of the first, and we'll go to the bottom half of the inning with the Commodores coming to bat here from Guff Fuller Field.
today.
Welcome back into Gulf Fuller Field. The Commodores coming to bat for the first time in this ball game, and they'll face Blake Soderston out of Cal State Northridge. The righty has a perfect 0 ERA on the season over his 11 1/3 innings. And he'll start things off against Cody Colden with Braden Taylor and Jace Borfin behind him. Chris Armstrong bats in the cleanup spot for this Falmouth team. Anthony Hall, who's been on an absolute tear as of late, is the 5-hitter. Michael Curiali, the 6-hitter. Cameron Buford in the 7th spot. Taylor Smith is the 8-hitter. And Luke Boyers rounds out this lineup as the first pitch to Colden is taken low and inside for a ball. Colden got the night off last night, although he ended up coming on as a pinch hitter in the top of the 9th for this Falmouth team and grounded out in his lone at-bat of the ball game. Guy who's hitting 168 on the season for the Commodores out of Washington State. And here's the 1-1 now. And the count quickly 1-2. Falmouth comes into tonight sporting a 14-18-2 record on the season. This Commodores team has not been at or above 500 since mid-July. And they had opportunities down the stretch, but Matt and I have chronicled how streaky this team was. Win a few, lose a few, and just never got back above 500 as the first baseman, Kellum Clark, is in the infield grass for the first out of the Commodores inning.
Now batting the second baseman from Texas.
That's what we
Christian
thought,
University,
or at least what I thought going into the
Braden
last stretch of the
Taylor.
games, because they won 5 straight, and then you lose, win, lose, win. It was just back and forth. At some point, they were either going to win a few in a row or lose a few in a row, and they ended up losing a few in a row, which were the crucial games down the stretch.
Commodores came into Saturday night with about an even mod win percentage against the Catuit Kettleers, but 2 straight losses to Catuit and then a loss last night to Wareham, officially eliminating Falmouth from playoff contention as Braden Taylor sits behind in the count here at 0-2. Taylor had a single in the top of the 9th last night at Spillane Field to extend his small hitting streak out to 3 games, but he's picked up a hit in all 3 of the games since returning to the lineup for this Falmouth team after he'd been out since July 20th. Here's the 1-2 now from Soderston, and the count goes to 2-2 here on the TCU hitter. So Taylor last night finished the ball game going 1 for 5 and comes into tonight hitting .270 on the season for this Falmouth team. But he takes a called third strike on the outside corner of the plate as Chris Kane rings him up, and there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting the right
That's a
fielder
really
from
good backdoor
University
breaking
of
ball from
Arkansas
Soderston. It starts
number
in the
16,
left-handed hitter's batter's
Jace
box and then goes onto the
Borfin.
outside part of the plate. So originally you're looking at it and it looks too far outside, but once it breaks, it's a strike. And at that point, you're just frozen and you look at strike 3.
Here's Jace Borfin now for the Commodores, and the first pitch he sees, he lines the other way for strike 1. Borfin hitting .288 on the season for this Falmouth team. Last night going 1 for 4 and picked up an RBI in the loss for the Commodores. Falmouth scored 4 runs last night, all of which came in the 6th inning, and that was when Falmouth picked up all of its hits as well. 5 hits in the ball game for the Commodores, and that was the only inning where the team was able to do damage, as this one has popped up into left field. The left fielder in Owen Diodati comes over to his right, and he makes the grab for the 3rd out of this inning. So Blake Soderston goes 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first, and we'll move to the second, still scoreless here in Falmouth.
Special barrels located.
Owen Diodati leads off the inning for this Gatemen team after his at-bat was cut short in the top of the first when Tommy Troy was caught stealing to end the inning. So Diodati, Brannigan, and Crooks set to come up here in the top of the second in a scoreless ball game between the Falmouth Commodores and the Wareham Gatemen. Antoine Jean on the mound for Falmouth after he was able to face the minimum in the top half of the inning. And the first pitch of the second, slowly chopped to the right side. Jean flips underhand from a pretty long distance, but is able to get it over to first in time for the first out of this inning.
Well, if anybody knows Diodati's speed, it's going to be Antoine Jean on the mound. Teammates at Alabama, so now he's gotten Jarvis out to pop out to third base, and Buford made the catch. Now he's gotten Diodati to hit a little tapper out in front, and he knew he had enough time to go with the underhand toss there. It's a good play from John on the line.
That brings up Jack Brannigan out of Notre Dame, who takes ball one outside. Brannigan hitting .280 on the season for the Gatemen. He's 21 for 75 at the plate with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run on the season. For the second straight night, he's the designated hitter for Wareham as he sits even in the count here at 1-1. You may notice watching our stream, especially when you see some of the close-ups of the players, Falmouth tonight wearing new hats as the team just a couple days ago brought in these new maroon hats to go alongside with the black ones. And you can see they've got the white F on the front. You've got the Cape Cod Baseball League logo on the back. And they're really sleek-looking hats that I know a lot of the team are fans of, and some of us interns fans of them as well. As the count goes to 2-2 here on Brannigan.
Just a nice color. I think it goes better with the maroon socks as well when you put those two together. And if you have a maroon belt too, I think that looks the best.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen them in a game, and with these white uniforms and the maroon socks, like you mentioned, look really sleek as Antoine Jean has his first strikeout of the night and the second out here of this second inning.
Now batting the catcher from the University of Oklahoma, number 8, Jimmy Crooks.
You like those better or the black hats with the maroon F on them?
I like them because I like the maroon ones better because they're New Era. New Era makes the Major League Baseball hats, which is a fitted baseball cap. That's what. So I think that because they make those, they have the same kind of effect here on the Cape, and a lot of the other teams have New Era as well. So finally, the Commodores wearing those tonight.
Here's Jimmy Crooks for this Gatemen team, and he sits even in the count here at 1-1 against Antoine Jean. Crooks did not play yesterday for the Gatemen out of the University of Oklahoma, but tonight his 30th game of the season for Wareham. So another one of these guys who's played a lot on the summer, but last night just getting the night off back at Spillane Field, and now he's ahead 2-1. Crooks hitting .250 on the season for Wareham. 3 doubles, 2 home runs. Here's the 2-1 now from Jean. A check swing as he started to go around. They're going to peel down to third. And the third base umpire and Ryan Demari says he did not go around. Count now full. Nice stop by, I believe, Tyler Tuthill over in the Commodores bullpen as that ball was hit his way.
It's funny. Sometimes guys will have their gloves on ready to catch it in the bullpen, and some guys will just run out of the way. Or you'll see guys go barehand for it. Takes 3 different people to do all those 3 things.
Commodores bullpen always watching this game closely. They've had a lot of balls hit their way this season. And I don't remember who it was, but there was a team here a week or 2 ago that had a foul ball hit into the visiting bullpen, and nobody saw it, and a hit or 2 was almost taken off. But fortunately, everyone was okay. Here's the payoff pitch from Jean. And came on inside. Crooks swung at it, and it's foul. Count remains full. It's one of those pitches that is way on the inside part of the bat, and just after you swing at it, your hand's sometimes just ringing because of how close or how low on the barrel you make contact with that ball.
And Crook's not a guy who wears batting gloves with his wood bat. And the batting gloves, not only do they give you some grip, but they also are supposed to take some of that ring out of your hands.
3-2 lined into right center field, and that drops for the Gatemen second base hit of the night as Jimmy Crooks has his 26th hit on the season, and he's aboard with 2 gone.
Now batting the third baseman from Mississippi State University, number 13, Cameron James.
So Crooks able to fight off some of that pain that may have been in his hands and gets aboard here for the Gatemen as they've now had a man reach in each of the 2 innings they've stepped up to the plate so far. Here's Cameron James, the 7-hitter and the third baseman in this lineup. Takes called breaking ball for strike 1. James out of Mississippi State playing in his 19th game for Wareham tonight. Played in 67 games for Mississippi State this past season and hit .264 for the national champions. Had 12 home runs, 61 total RBIs. One of the best hitters on that team, which brought home the first national championship in Mississippi State history. And he's now behind in the count 1-2. Yesterday against Falmouth, James went 0 for 3 with a walk, a strikeout, and he was able to pick up an RBI as well. As the 1-2 comes upstairs, and the count's now 2-2. This one hit on the ground over to Braden Taylor, and he'll go the short route to second for the third out of this inning. So Jean just faces 4 batters here in the top of the second. He's able to get 3 of them down, and we'll move to the bottom of the second with the Commodores coming back to bat here from Gov Fuller Field.
Armstrong.
Commodores bring up 4, 5, and 6 here in the bottom of the second with Chris Armstrong leading things off for the home side. Falmouth looking for its first base runner of the ball game. As a called strike to Chris Armstrong comes home. Just realizing now, haven't mentioned the umpires yet. Chris Kane's behind the dish. Levante Palmer is at first. And Ryan Damari over at third for tonight's officiating crew. Armstrong sits behind in the count 0-2. Soderson already has 1 strikeout tonight as he was able to set down Braden Taylor back in the first. Soderson comes into tonight with 10 strikeouts to just 3 walks on the season. Hasn't been around too long for Wareham. His first start for this team came back on July 18th in what was an 8-4 loss at Brewster. And then has outings against both Harwich and again against Brewster. So tonight taking on the Western Division for the first time this year. As this one's popped up to the left side, and it's just going to get behind the Gatemen dugout as the count remains 1-2. Both Falmouth and Wareham already eliminated from the 2021 playoffs. For the Western Division, it's going to be represented by Bourne and Katuitt, as Armstrong grounds out for the first out of this inning. But Bourne and Katuitt will represent the West, and representing the East will be Harwich and Brewster in what matter probably going to be some really good series that start on Friday.
Yeah, those will be good. I just want to talk about that replay for a second, though. That was the biggest shift of the season that we've seen from that anybody's put on Armstrong. Armstrong's a switch hitter that can hit to all fields. He can hit from both sides equally as well. But you had Jarvis, the shortstop, on the right side of second base there. So there were 3 infielders on the right side. We have not seen that against Armstrong, but it worked perfectly because that ground ball was probably headed for the hole, and instead Troy, who was shaded over that way, was able to make the play easily.
Anthony Hall up now and behind in the count 0-2. Hall on an 11-game hitting streak. And that's the longest hitting streak we've seen by any Commodore this season. Last night, picking up an RBI double for his only base hit of the night. But he's also not only picking up hits, he's picking up RBIs too. He's had at least 1 RBI over the last 4 games that he's played in, and the Oregon Duck now has 13 total on the season. Pops this one up to the left side, coming in hard is Owen Diodati into foul territory. He makes the running grab and starts to go up the hill as he gets the second out of this inning.
Hall just got under it and was out in front as well, so popped it up, or a little bit late rather, popped it up over to that side on his opposite way. So he kind of got tied up and it hit off the end of the bat, and he was a little bit late and under it as well.
I'm going to bring up Michael Curiali, who takes strike 1 from Blake Soderston. Soderston doing a really good job against Falmouth so far to get ahead early in these counts. Curiali, the 6th batter that he's faced tonight, and he's gotten ahead on just about every hitter so far, and now ahead 0-2. Curiali went 0 for 3 yesterday with a couple of strikeouts, but also picked up an RBI as he had a sac fly in the loss up at Spillane Field, hitting .241 on the season for Falmouth, and one of the Commodores who's been here since day one, as he had in one of the hottest bats and one of the hottest starts to the summer season, not only for the Commodores, but in the entire Cape League. At one point early on was one of the best hitters, or the best hitter in the league. But he's behind here 0-2. 6 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs on the season for Curiali. Here's the 0-2 now from Soderston, and Curiali swings through it as Blake Soderston has his 2nd strikeout of the night and has another 1-2-3 inning against these Commodores. We'll move into the 3rd, still scoreless from the Gov. Got a good look there of the Wild Game Sausage Man here at Gov Fuller Field, cooking up some delicious burgers, probably some deep fried Oreos out at the concession shack here at the Gov. Had the opportunity over the last week to try some of the items that he puts on the menu, and we reviewed them on some of these broadcasts, and Matt and I both agreed some of the best burgers that we've ever had. As Kellum Clark will lead off the inning for Wareham. And he takes ball one inside. I'm curious, Matt, we tried 3 different burgers that he made. A Maui Wowie, which was a Hawaiian kind of burger, Texas barbecue, and then the one, I don't remember what he called it, but it was Cajun pickles and some sort of secret sauce that he put on it. Which was the favorite of the 3 you had?
Give me the secret sauce. I don't want to know what it is. I just want to eat it. The real question is, though, what are we getting tonight?
I don't know if we're getting anything.
Well,
I hope.
We got to send Chris, who's on the camera, down there to get us stuff. And then he can have something, too.
Looked like Chris may have been ordering some food out there, but we got to get whatever he got, we got to get in on. Some really good food here that we have at the Gov, and I mean some of the most creative as well that I've seen in the Cape League all summer. Kellum Clark here with a 2-2 count. Here to lead off the inning for the Gatemen. Came in yesterday as a pinch hitter and went down swinging in his lone at-bat of the ball game. 2-2 just inside, and the count goes full. Clark on the season hitting .203, another hitter out of Mississippi State. Tonight his 21st game for this Gatemen team, and he's able to just stay alive. Played in 33 total games this past season with the Bulldogs. Hit .237 in his 93 at-bats and was able to drive home 16 runs in his freshman season. He's a Mississippi native from Brandon, Mississippi. 3-2. And this one is in for a called third strike as Antoine Jean has his second strikeout of the night, and there's one gone here in the third.
Now batting the right fielder from Ohio State University.
Front door breaking ball there from
Cade Hearn.
Antoine Jean. That pitch comes at you as a left-handed hitter and then breaks towards the plate. And it froze up Clark just a bit. 2 guys out of the SEC on the mound and in the box, and Alabama gets the job done on the mound.
First pitch to Cade Kern, the 9-hitter, is grounded over to Cameron Buford. The long throw is in time for out number 2. So Cameron Buford, who's making his first start of the season for the Commodores out of Grambling State, has already had 3 balls hit his way and has fielded them pretty well for this Falmouth team.
He's had 1 through the air. He's had a couple on the ground. He helped a fielder's choice and now got the assist on that putout as well.
We go back to the top of the lineup now for Cade Fergus, who singled in his first at-bat of the night. And he takes ball 1 to start this at-bat. Buford will lead things off for Falmouth when this team comes up to bat in the bottom half of this inning. And that'll be just his 3rd at-bat of the summer. He's come in twice as a pinch hitter for the Commodores. Once at Hyannis back on Friday, and then also had a pinch hit at-bat on Saturday here against the Kettleers, but both times went down via the strikeout. As Antoine Jean now 3-0 on a pitch that looked like it should have been called a strike. He had a confused face, and I think rightly so.
I mean, the only place that could have missed was high, but it was over the plate.
There's the first strike of this at-bat as Fergus swinging on a 3-0. Jean hasn't allowed a walk so far tonight. Just 3 total base runners, 2 singles, and then a fielder's choice for this Gatemen team the first time through the lineup. But there's his first walk of the night as he gives it on 5 pitches, and Fergus is aboard for the second time tonight.
Now batting the shortstop, number 28, Jim Jarvis.
So Jean has allowed at least 1 base runner in all 3 of the innings so far as Jim Jarvis digs in now. Jarvis popped out to Cameron Buford in his first at-bat, and he almost trips over himself swinging so hard at that first pitch.
he wants to go hit a bomb off of his college teammate John on the mound. That was exactly what that swing was, and he got a breaking ball and just swung out of his shoes.
Jarvis had a bomb last night, a 2-run homer against the Commodores. That got out of the field, and then Tommy Troy after him had one of the deepest home runs that we've seen all summer. A ball that landed in the parking lot beyond the left field fence at Spillane Field. Throw over to first, and Fergus is back in safely. Fergus with just 1 stolen bag on the season, so not a guy who runs too often for the Gatemen. And Wareham as a team doesn't run too often as well, as Sean is now ahead 1-2. This Wareham team just 44 stolen bags on the season, which sits about middle of the pack in the CCBL.
Look how much that Jarvis is choking up on that bat with 2 strikes.
That is impressive.
And then he gets lower into his stance to just defend the plate and have a smaller strike zone.
This one comes in upstairs now 2-2. I mean, this may be the most that we've seen a guy choke up on any approach this summer. He's holding that bat pretty high up. He hasn't had to swing his bat, though, yet. As the count now goes full.
Well, he's also crouching down so low, which makes that strike zone smaller, and it's forced John to throw 3 straight balls after being ahead 0-2.
I mean, you'd have to think that crouching down that much, he loses some of the power in his swing. And sure enough, he bloops this one right to Braden Taylor, and that'll end the inning for Antoine Jean. So just 1 base runner allowed again here in the 3rd. And we'll move into the bottom half of the inning. Commodores trying to get that first run on the board here at home.
Now batting the third baseman.
Our wonderful Matt Levine showing off his autograph on the new wall that is going to be a continuing tradition here at the Gov. The media interns are going to sign that and add their names into the list of guys who come through as Cameron Buford leads off the 3rd for the Commodores and takes a called strike from Blake Sodersten. This press box that we're in was just recently renovated, and from what we've been told is incredibly different from what it used to look like. We've been told that it used to almost be like a barn, but now it's cleaned up and one of the best in the league. And other teams have these autograph walls, but it's cool to finally see this now and see it continue to grow with time.
Hey, David, that's some autograph you got.
I've said it before, I do not know cursive, and so just going to go with the simple etching of my name as Cameron Buford goes down swinging.
Well, we can confidently say now that the wall is worth less money than it was before this game tonight because my signature is on the wall.
Who do you think has the nicest signature on that wall?
Oh, it's without question. Cade Velleman, one of our camera guys. He just wrote C and then his last name, but the C is attached to the V in it. It just looks great.
Here's Taylor Smith with one gone here in the third. And he takes a called strike from Soderstrom. Soderstrom already with 3 strikeouts in this ball game, has yet to allow a base runner here against the Commodores. And that one hit sharply to the right side. Looks like everybody in the fan area okay on that liner of a ball, and Taylor Smith now behind 0-2. I'll say, I think our director, Andrew Corbett, or our public address announcer, Eric Jones, have some pretty sharp ones.
What about Sean Aldridge with half cursive, half regular?
I was just thinking
print,
that
I guess.
As Taylor Smith goes down swinging for the second out of this inning. But, yeah, Sean Aldridge, who currently is manning our third base camera, which is what you're looking at right now. Sean is in cursive, and Aldridge is, like my name, just written. I don't know what the approach was there.
He must have not gotten the lesson on his last name in 3rd grade.
Here's the 9-hitter, Luke Boyers, who shows bunt, and it's called a strike. Looking down at third, trying to see if he's eliciting any kind of reaction. He's got a hat on. It's really hard to tell if he's letting out any sort of emotion. It's now 0-2 here on Boyers. Well, regardless of how every guy's name looks, it's going to be great to have that wall continue to get more and more names as the years go on. And how about Blake Soderstrom, who picks up 3 strikeouts here in the third, now has 4 straight strikeouts. And we move to the 4th as he has faced the minimum in every inning so far. We move into the 4th here from Gov Fuller Field. Still looking for our first run of the ball game as Tommy Troy will lead things off for the visiting side. Troy, Diodati, and Brannigan set to come up here in the 4th. A Wareham team that has 2 hits in the ball game so far. As Antoine Jean still on the mound. Matt, both get pitchers so far, Jean and Soderstrom, pitching really well, and Soderstrom has maybe the upper hand because he hasn't allowed a base runner yet, but Jean not too far behind him.
Yeah, John hasn't allowed a guy reach second base tonight. 3 guys have been thrown out at second, and 4 base runners total.
Count now 1-2 here on Tommy Troy. And Jean tonight making his 5th start of the season for Falmouth. His last couple of starts, he's started well over the first couple of innings, but it's been when he started to hit the 4th or the 5th that things have slowly gotten away from him. But so far he's dealing as he picks up a strikeout to start this inning.
Well, a lot of these Commodores, when they have their
Now
outings
the left
extended,
fielder, number 12,
that's when
Owen Diodati.
we'll see them give up base runners or give up runs and just be put in more a tougher situation. But it's a good move by the coaching staff to try and let them continue to just extend their outings, because you never want to just limit a guy to just one inning.
First pitch to Owen Diodati, ground to the right side. Nice stop by Braden Taylor, and a good throw over to Chris Armstrong for the second out of this inning. And Diodati set down on another ground out for the second time tonight.
9, Jack Brannigan.
Braden Taylor has just such quick hands wherever he is in the infield. He fields that ball, and he's throwing it. I don't even know how many milliseconds that is, or half a second, whatever it is, but just by the naked eye, it just looks so natural wherever he's playing.
Here's the 5-hitter, Jack Brannigan, who takes strike one from Antoine Jean. And in each of the last 3 innings now, the second, the third, and here in the fourth, Jean has picked up the first 2 outs via a strikeout and a ground out, and then has allowed the next guy to reach, and sure enough, that's what happens here in the fourth, as Brannigan lines one into left field, and he has his first base hit of the night. That's the 3rd hit for the Gatemen.
Well, that base hit brought the sun out for a second.
Now batting the catcher, number 8, Jimmy.
We'll take it.
Haven't seen the sun all day. There was a stretch, I think, over like a week and a half or something earlier in the year where we didn't see the sun for that long.
I think I remember on our 4th of July broadcast commenting that there was finally some sun coming down on the grandstand out around the Commodores bullpen, and how it finally felt good to see some of that sun. And just 24 hours with these clouds, feels good to see it again here at the Gov. Here's Jimmy Crooks, who grounds one right to Chris Armstrong, and that'll end the inning. So another inning where Antoine Jean faces just 4 batters, allows one of them to reach, but the other 3 he's able to set down, and the Commodores will come back to bat when we come back from Gov Fuller Field. Blake Sauterson comes out for the 4th inning, yet to allow a base runner against this Commodores team as we go back to the top of the lineup for Cody Colden, Braden Taylor, and Jace Borfin here in the 4th. The righty out of Cal State Northridge has picked up 5 strikeouts his first time through the lineup, induced just 1 ground ball, and the other 3 outs coming through the air as Colden swings through strike 1 here on Sauterson. So Sauterson coming into the 4th, he hasn't gone longer than 4 1/3 innings this summer. So we'll see how long the Gatemen leave him on the mound. Currently nobody warming up in their bullpen, as Colden's now behind 0-2. And on the Commodores side, Anthony DeFabia currently warming up in the Commodores bullpen as the lefty looks to come on for his final outing of the season. We'll see whether that comes in the 5th or if they're going to ride Jean one more inning, but we'll just see how the coaches play that out. Here's the 0-2 to Colden. Doesn't miss by much, but just outside, now 1-2. Well, these two teams have had a lot of quick innings so far tonight, and in a lot of the games that they've played this summer, As the count now 2-2 here on Colden. Last night, Falmouth went down in order 4 times over the 9 innings, and then go back to the last time before that Falmouth played at Spillane Field, which was July 18th, and they went down in order 6 times in that ball game. They've already done it 3 times tonight.
And the weirdest part about yesterday was that it was the top third of the order going down in order 3 times in the game. I said it yesterday. I don't think we've ever seen that at any point in this season. Any third of the order just going down in order that many times in a game.
It continues so far as Cody Colden goes down swinging, and that's now 5 straight strikeouts for Blake Soderston.
Now batting the second baseman, number 20.
Soderston is the guy who tossed 2 complete games at Cal State Northridge this spring, which ranked 3rd in the Big West Conference, but it appears now tying his longest outing of the season here on the Cape. He's going to go as long as he can at this rate.
Braden Taylor foul sipped the first pitch into the glove of Jimmy Crooks for strike 1. This past season with Cal State Northridge, Soderston had 10 starts and posted a 3-2 record. Pitched 62 and 2/3 innings, and like Matt mentioned, 2 complete games in his season. He was the Friday starter for the entire season. Struck out 52 batters over 62 and 2/3 innings, so not a guy who overpowered guys. But tonight it's been the opposite story. Already has 6 strikeouts in this ball game, which ties a season high here with Wareham. And he's only through 3 1/3 innings so far. Here's the 1-2 to Braden Taylor. Grounded slowly to the right side for Tommy Troy. And the throw over to first beats Braden Taylor by a step for the second out of this inning.
Now batting the right fielder, number 16, Jace.
So Taylor with the speed down the base paths, but just unable to beat that one out.
There's been 11 hitters at the plate. 10 of them have been behind on the first pitch. The only one was Colden. His first time up was a first pitch ball.
First pitch to Jace Borfin. He bloops into right field. Coming on Cade Kern, and he makes the grab to end the inning. So another 1-2-3 inning here for Blake Soderston, who has faced the minimum through 4 hitters. And he has a big smile coming off the field here at the Gov. And we'll move to the 5th here in Falmouth. Antoine Jean on the mound for his 5th inning of the night for Falmouth. Quite the pitcher's battle we have here at the Gov. We are 51 minutes into this ball game, and we're already in the top of the 5th here in Falmouth as Cameron James will lead things off for the Gatemen. Shows bunt on the first pitch, and it rolls foul. Jean wisely lets it play its way down the line, and just at the last moment was starting to lose some steam, and it goes foul. Happy to have now on the broadcast also our Tommy Mumoff for another edition of Tommy's Thoughts. Tommy, not too many of these left, but good to have you back.
Oh, thanks for having me. Great to be here. Like you said, quite the pitcher's duel tonight, and the Commodores still without a hit. Last night they didn't get their first hit until the 6th inning. So some early struggles for this team, but we'll see. It's been a fun one so far tonight.
This offense for Falmouth has, last night and tonight, been real quiet. Was pretty good against Cotuit this past weekend, scoring 6 runs on Saturday and then 9 runs on Sunday. So 15 total runs on the weekend. But over these last couple of days, it's steadily gone away, which is a bit of a surprise from this team, a Commodores team that for most of the season has been near the top in terms of runs scored in the Cape Cod League.
For sure. I mean, like you said, against Cotuit, they put up some big numbers for sure. And, a little surprising to see back-to-back nights with low hit totals. Although last night they did jump out. They cut into that deficit with a 4-run inning in the 6th. So we'll see if they can bounce back like that tonight.
Kellum Clark grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice in his first at-bat of the night, and he goes down looking as Antoine Jean picks up the looking K to start off this inning. That's the 4th strikeout of the night for Jean, and there's one gone here in the top of the 5th.
We're talking about the Falmouth offense, but how about Antoine Jean out there tonight? He's been outstanding. Only 3 hits so far that he's given up, and looked really good overall through these first few innings.
3 hits and then a walk and a fielder's choice, the only guys that he's allowed to reach so far tonight against this Gatemen team as Kellum Clark takes ball 1 from the lefty Jean. And make it 1-1. Anything piquing your interest tonight that you want to talk about?
Not too much in particular, Dave. I'd have to think about that, I know. But, no, I mean, as we were saying, gotta love a pitcher's duel. At least we do as baseball fans. But it's been fun to watch. I mean, last night was a good game for sure between these two teams. Down 6-0 were the Commodores, and like we just mentioned, they put up 4 runs and really made it interesting there. So another good one tonight.
Count now 2-2 here on Kellum Clark. In each of the last 3 innings, Jean has picked up a strikeout and a groundout over the first 2 batters faced, then allows a runner to reach, and then is able to end the inning. As this one is hit hard into right field, going back, Jace Borfin right at the wall. He puts his glove up and he makes the running grab for the second out of this inning. We almost had our first run of the day, but Jace Borfin able to reel it in for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, definitely a close call there. Went back to the wall, and we see Jace Borfin. He's so solid out there in the outfield. He has a good arm and covers a lot of ground, and he showed that off right there.
2 gone here for Cade Kern, the 9-hitter in this Gatemen lineup, who takes strike 1 from Jean. Kern grounded to Cameron Buford in his first at-bat of the night, so he's 0 for 1 tonight. And now the count even at 1-1. Kern out of Ohio State playing in his 28th game for the Gatemen tonight, hitting .225 on the season. Here's the 1-1. Make it 2-1. Tommy, how much of a bummer that we've got just a few days left together?
It is a bummer. I mean, it's been a great summer. I know that we've talked about it. It's been awesome this whole summer to see, these talented players. I know for us, we've loved covering these teams. And, the Commodores have been fun to watch the whole way through. And, like you mentioned, the weather a little tough tomorrow, it looks like. So we're hoping we can get that in. We hope this isn't it tonight.
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed that we get one more game in, and not just for us and for the players, but even looking out here, another really well-attended game tonight here in Falmouth. I mean, the stands in the field along the first base side are about as full as they've been all summer, and then along the left field line, too, pretty packed as well. As this one is popped up into center, Luke Boyers calls everybody off, and he makes the grab for the 3rd out of this inning. So Antoine Jean faces the minimum for the 2nd time tonight, and through 5 innings on the mound has allowed just 3 hits and 5 total base runners to this Gatemen team. and the Commodores come back to bat, still looking for that first base runner of the night when we come back from Falmouth. Chris Armstrong lead things off for Falmouth here in the bottom of the fifth with Blake Soderstrom still on the mound. And this has been one of the best starts we've seen on the summer, as he has not allowed a single base runner through 4 innings against this Falmouth team. Already has 6 strikeouts to his name, including striking out the side back in the 3rd. And we're right now on about record pace here at the Gov. 58 minutes into this ball game, and we're already in the bottom of the 5th. And Chris Armstrong now behind 1-2. Tommy, we've had some quick games this summer, but up to this point, none quicker than this one.
For sure. No, this is the quickest by far up to this point, but we've had a couple. I think we had 2, I think, that were actually just over 2 hours. And, we've had some pretty quick games, but I think that's what good pitching does, right? When runs aren't scored and base runners aren't on, you're not going to have as long a game.
Well, this game's shaping up to be very similar to when Orleans played here at the Gov back on July 12th. That game went 2 hours and 7 minutes and was a 1-0 win for the Commodores, as Falmouth played its only run of the ball game in the 7th inning on a double from Brennan Malone, who was with the team at the time, and he was the one who came around to score. I should say the hit came from Cody Colden, but Malone came around to score. Falmouth had just 3 hits in that ball game, and Orleans had 3 as well. And Wareham already with 3 tonight, but they just haven't been able to produce the offense either. Anthony Hall stands even in the count here, 1-1 on Blake Soderstrom. So, Tommy, we were talking during that half inning some of our favorite moments from this season, whether it be from a game or just any one of your experiences being here on the Cape this summer. What's been one of your favorite moments?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think, the summer as a whole, we got to go to Fenway a couple times, which was a lot of fun, for sure, all the history that's taken place there. But, on the broadcast last night, we talked about Chris Armstrong's home run, and we've had a lot of really good games. I think that this team's competed till the very end every night.
This one hit sharply into right field. Going back, though, is Cade Kernan. He's able to get to it just in time to make the running grab. And that's now 14 up, 14 down here on Blake Soderstrom.
Nice play out there and right. But I think that this team's battled back every night, and they've been fun to watch in every game, whether it's come out in their favor or not. But there's been a lot of great moments for sure.
Here's Michael Curiali with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. And he swings through strike 1. Something we've been saying all night. Blake Soderstrom getting ahead on these Falmouth hitters. Now 7 strikeouts on the night, which is a new season high for the righty. And a broken bat, slow chopper to the left side, fielded by Cameron James on the run. Is able to make the throw just in time to beat out Michael Curiali and make that 15 up, 15 down for the righty out of Cal State Northridge, who is absolutely dealing here at the Gov. And we'll move into the 6th with the Gatemen coming back to bat when we come back from the Gov. Anthony DeFabia takes the mound for Falmouth in relief of Antoine Jean, who pitched 5 of his best innings of the season, picking up 4 strikeouts over his night and allowing just 3 hits and 1 walk to this Gatemen team. And DeFabia comes on in relief of Jean, making his 9th appearance this summer, his 8th out of the bullpen. And he'll start off against 1-2-3 in this Gatemen lineup with Cade Fergus leading things off. So Jean tonight, the first outing for him that he hasn't allowed runs this summer. And a pitcher's battle that's been brewing all night here at the Gov. And Jean maybe a step below Blake Soderston, who's been perfect up to this point. But Jean had his best start tonight, Matt.
Well, at the end of the day, they're tied on the scoreboard, and that's all that matters. If you can't get the lead, you'd rather be tied than losing. So Jean can walk away not upset, but probably not as happy if he was able to get some run support, but still had his best start of the summer up to this point.
DeFabia's last outing came back on July 28th in a 4-1 loss here at the Gov against Harwich. As the 2-1 now from the lefty comes inside and it ends up catching Cade Fergus. And so Fergus is aboard for the 3rd time tonight as he leads off the inning.
Now batting the shortstop, number 28, Jim Jarvis.
Still, no Gatemen have reached second tonight. 3 base runners have been tossed out at second. There was a couple of fielder's choice, and Tommy Troy got caught stealing there. So you've had guys reach first, and that's about it.
Here's Jim Jarvis, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a couple bloop pop-outs that have stayed in the infield. Shows bunt before pulling back on a ball low and away from DeFabia. DeFabia has pitched twice against the Gatemen this season. Picked up his first win of the year against Wareham on June 21st when he pitched 3 innings at Spillane Field, and then picked up another win in the only other meeting between these two teams here at the Gov back on July 15th. Also pitched 3 innings in that outing and faced 10 total batters, so only allowed 1 to reach, and that came from a walk. Here's the 2-0 from the lefty. Make it 2-1. DeFabia with a 4-1 record on the year and just a 4.50 ERA out of the bullpen. He's been one of the best arms that this Falmouth team has, and he can give the team a lot of distance. He's pitched at least 2 innings, most of them 3 on the summer, other than the 2 outings at Bourne. Is this one chopped to the right side, and Braden Taylor going to make the easy out at first for the first out of the 6th inning.
And the Gatemen have a runner in scoring position now for the first time tonight with a good ground out over to the right side from Jarvis.
So 1 gone here for Tommy Troy, who's 0 for 2 tonight, reached on a fielder's choice in the first and then struck out swinging back in the 4th. And like Matt just mentioned, Cade Fergus now in scoring position, standing at second. As the first pitch from DeFabio comes home, just misses for ball 1. DeFabio, one of the youngest arms and one of the youngest guys, period, on this Falmouth team, turning 19 about a month ago after just finishing up his freshman season at Stetson. Here's the 1-0 from the lefty. Hit hard into left field, and that's going to drop down for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Cade Fergus. The throw, it does not come home for Michael Curiali, and the Gatemen are on the board here at the Gov as Tommy Troy picks up his 19th RBI of the season on his first base hit of the night.
Now batting the left fielder, number 12, Owen Diodati.
Well, that run doesn't score if Fergus is still on first, so Jarvis should be getting some high fives in the dugout there for having that ground out to the right side that moved him into scoring position, and then that single from Tommy Troy brings him home.
So it's now 1-0 Wareham here at the Gov as Tommy Troy leads off of first here with just 1 gone here this half inning. And the first pitch to Owen Diodati, he swings through for strike 1. DeFabio now has allowed an earned run in 6 of the 9 outings that he's been on the mound this season. But he does have that 4-1 record. Is this one just hit over the head of Braden Taylor at second? Stopping at second, check that. Moving on to third is going to be Tommy Troy as that ball got past Jace Borfin in right field. Going into second is Owen Diodati. And all of a sudden, Wareham is finding the base hits this half inning, as that's going to be a single for Diodati and then moving to second on an error by Borfin.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 9.
I don't know what happened there with Jace Borfin. Here's another look at it. He came in, tried to backhand it. That's what happened, and it bounced over his glove. If he just kind of went back a little bit more, got around it, there would be runners on first and second.
So now 2 in scoring position here for Wareham. And stepping up now is Jack Brannigan for the Gatemen. Tommy Troy stands at third. Owen Diodati stands at second. So Falmouth last night had all of its magic happen in the 6th inning, and that's what's happening tonight to this Wareham team. Jean coming off the mound and DeFabio coming on, and right now this team is really attacking him. A hit by pitch to Cade Fergus, and then he came around to score, and then back-to-back singles by Troy and Diodati as the count goes even to 1-1 here on Jack Brannigan. Brannigan 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out and then singled to left in his last at-bat. Out of Notre Dame, playing in his 24th game tonight for Wareham. Here's the 1-1 from DeFabio. This one hit into center field. Racing back is Luke Boyers. Makes the grab on the run for the second out of the inning. Tagging up and scoring from third is Tommy Troy. Holding at second is Owen Diodati. And it's now 2-0 Wareham here at the Gov.
Really good defensive play from Boyers. He had to go a long way in the gap, and once he caught that ball, he knew the run is going to easily score from third, so his throw goes to third base to make sure that Diodati can't tag up. If Boyers, for some reason, threw that ball to the plate, then Diodati gets third base easily as well, and everybody would have been safe and advanced.
2 gone now for Jimmy Crooks, who's also 1 for 2 tonight, and he takes strike 1 from Anthony DeFabio. Crooks with a single in the second and then grounded out to third grounded out to first to end the fourth inning. This Wareham team came into this half inning with 3 hits on the night, now up to 5. And Falmouth also picking up an error from Jace Borfin here in the 6th. Good stop by Taylor Smith as the count goes to 1-1. Another arm up in the bullpen for Falmouth. As this one is lined into right center field, and that's going to drop down for a base hit. Rounding third, coming home to score is Owen Diodati, and make it 3-0 Wareham here at the Gov, as Jimmy Crooks has his 2nd single of the night, his 10th RBI of the season as well.
Now batting the third baseman, number 13.
This is exactly what happened against Scituate. Just in both of those games, Scituate, gap after gap after gap, bloop single, hard hit ball to the wall, everything they did offensively, it featured a wide array of things. And tonight, in this inning alone, Wareham has just piled on hits and a few runs to come for that.
So Wareham has doubled its hit total here in this half inning, as Cameron James takes ball 1 from Anthony DeFabia. Now 6 hits on the night for the visiting side. And this one hit right to Braden Taylor to end this inning. But Wareham scores 3 runs to jump out ahead of the Gatemen, to jump out ahead of the Commodores here in the 6th. And we'll see if Falmouth can have some sort of answer when we come back here from the Gov. Falmouth steps up to the plate, now trailing in this ball game as the Gatemen have a 3-0 lead here from Gov Fuller Field. David Adar alongside Matt Levine with you. Thanks for spending some of your Tuesday night with us here in Falmouth. Cameron Buford, Taylor Smith, and Luke Boyer set to come up this inning for the Commodores. Buford will lead things off 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. And he takes first pitch strike from Blake Soderston. Buford now stepping up to the plate for his 4th at-bat of the summer. He's 0 for 3 so far with 3 strikeouts, and he's quickly behind 0-2 here on the righty Soderston. Soderston so far, it's been 15 up, 15 down against this Commodores team. Has picked up 7 strikeouts so far, and Buford makes no contact on that one. Long throw. Safe at first is Cameron Buford, and Falmouth has its first base runner of the night. A late decision there by Buford to run down to first. He thought he had some contact on that ball, but the ball just hung in the backstop, and Buford able to beat out the throw.
The catcher, number 14.
Anyway on. I mean, that's got to be the mindset now.
So Falmouth gets a runner aboard here. And right as we say that, Wareham sends an arm up in its bullpen to start warming up. Here is Soderson's longest outing before tonight was 4 1/3 innings, and he's already through 5 tonight as Taylor Smith digs in and takes ball 1. So despite Cameron Buford striking out, he does stand on first for Falmouth. representing the first base runner of the ball game for this Commodores team. Hunter Shillport is up in the bullpen now for this Wareham team. And the count goes to 1-1 here on Taylor Smith. Smith 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout back in the third. Part of a 1-2-3 inning where Soderson struck out the side against the Commodores. Count now 1-2 on a breaking ball that just managed to find some piece of the plate. One, two. Taylor Smith swings through it as Blake Soderson has another strikeout, and that's the first out of this 6th inning.
Now batting the center fielder, number 28, Luke Boyers.
9 strikeouts through 5 1/3 now for Soderson.
One of the best outings we've seen all summer by any pitcher here on the Cape. Already saw an immaculate inning from this Wareham team the last time they played here on July 15th, as this one to the right side off the glove of Soderson, and everybody's going to be safe. So not only does Cameron Buford advance, but Falmouth has its first base hit of the ball game as Luke Boyers, the 9-hitter, picks it up here in the 6th inning.
Number 3.
Last night, Commodores started the game 5 1/3, getting no hit. And their first hit of the game was a triple from Casey Harford because Owen Diodati couldn't find the ball in left field. He lost it in the sky. Tonight, it's a ground ball back to the pitcher for Luke Boyers, but it's off of Soderson's glove, just out of his reach. And that's the first hit. 5 1/3 again of a no-hitter for a Gatemen pitcher coming in to tonight.
Leadoff man in Cody Colden lines this one into center field. That's going to drop down, hustling around, and coming home to score the first run of the ball game for the Commodores is Cameron Buford. Well, now the bat's starting to come to life for this Falmouth team as Cody Colden picks up his first base knock of the night, his 12th RBI as well, and Falmouth now trails by just 2.
Buford got on by a drop third strike, and he runs around all of the bases, able to get to second on Boyers' infield hit, and then come around to score on Colden's hit. It starts with getting guys on. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just have to get them on. And then a really good slide by Buford into the plate. He chose to go more towards foul territory, away from the throw, and then did the swipe with his hand of the right side of home plate, so he was farther away from the tag from Crooks.
George Caralejo, the pitching coach for this Wareham team, comes out now to talk with his starter in Soderson. And Matt, this is always the tough decision that coaches have to face when one of their pitchers has either a no-hitter or a perfect game going, is how long do you let them go, especially for a guy here in Soderson who hasn't pitched this long in a little while.
Well, he's been dominant all night, and 9 strikeouts shows for it. He came into the inning with 46 strikes and 13 balls through 5 innings, and he gave up a first base runner on a drop third strike, which in reality isn't really his fault, and then he gives up 2 slow hit singles. One's in the infield, and then one's a soft liner to center. Only 1 run still. It's a close game, so just a quick meeting with Caralejo, but in reality, you let him ride as long as you can because he's been so dominant tonight.
So the tying run in Colden stands at first, and the go-ahead run, Braden Taylor stepping up to the plate now with just 1 gone here this half inning, and the first pitch to Taylor is outside for ball 1. Taylor 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out in this ball game. Comes into tonight riding a 3-game hitting streak and has an opportunity here to extend that as he takes strike 1 from Soderson. Falmouth already with 2 base hits this half inning after not having a single hit through the first 5 innings of the night. Here's the 1-1 now from the righty. Skied into left center field. Owen Diodati there, and he makes the grab for the second out of this 6th inning.
Now batting the right fielder, number 16, Jace Borfin.
So 2 away here for one of the best hitters in this Commodore lineup in Jace Borfin, who steps up to the plate here with the Commodores having some life this half inning. Already 1 run across here in the 6th, and trying to extend that with Boyer standing on second and Colden standing on first. Borfin, a late swing on strike 1. Borfin hitting .288 on the season. Had been hitting above .300 for most of the year, but the last week and a half, his average has dipped down a bit to just below .300. He's even in the count now at 1-1. A check swing, and Chris Kane, the home plate umpire, says he went around. So it's now 1-2 here on Borfin. 2 pitches that Borfin has swung at that I don't think he was too sure as to whether or not they were going to be strikes. That one he stopped, and then the first pitch he saw, it was a really late decision to bring the bat around. It's now 2-2.
That's a sign of a hitter just being a little bit uncomfortable at the plate. And he has 2 flyouts tonight. He hit the ball hard as last time to right field, but when you're more decisive as a hitter, that's when you know that the hitter's more comfortable.
2-2, and it drops in for a called third strike. But Falmouth able to pick up their first run of the ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. As Blake Soderson comes off the mound off of his 10th strikeout of the night. We'll move into the 7th inning. It's 3-1 Wareham here from the Gov.
99
Kellen Clark will lead off the 7th inning for the Wareham Gatemen, as the visiting side set to bring up 8, 9, and 1 here in the top half of the 7th. And Anthony DeFabia comes out for his 2nd inning of the night here against the visiting Wareham Gatemen for the final time here this summer. And the first pitch from DeFabia is a breaking ball that misses just outside for ball 1. DeFabia came on in the 6th and allowed 3 hits and 3 runs to come across to Wareham, as the Gatemen struck first here in this ballgame, but Falmouth able to bring a run back in the bottom half of the 6th, still trailing by 2, going into the back third of this ballgame. And there's the first strike of this inning from Anthony DeFabia. Take a look here at some of the other scorers around the league right now. Katuit has already locked up that number 2 spot in the Western Division on top of YD, 10-5 in the top of the 9th. Hyannis on top of Bourne, 6-1 in the top of the 6th. A little bit of a surpriser for the Harbor Hawks there. The Harwich Mariners lead the Orleans Firebirds 1-0 in the top of the 4th at White House Field. And in the top of the 2nd, Brewster and Chatham scoreless out at Veterans Field. So Brewster and Harwich will be the 1 and 2 seeds respectively in the East, and in the West it'll be Bourne with the 1 spot And Katuitt with the 2 spot as Anthony DeFabia calls everybody off and makes the grab for out number 1.
Rarely do you ever see the pitcher call everybody off to make the catch. Buford probably should have came in to make the play there, but DeFabia, an outfielder as well, a two-way guy, so he can track down balls through the air if he's in the outfield, and he just goes probably about 10 steps off the mound right along that third base line to make the catch.
That'll bring up Cade Kern, the 9-hitter in this lineup, who takes ball 1 from DeFabia. And, I mean, DeFabia, like you said, also an outfielder. It doesn't take too many pop-ups when he's on the mound, so it's got to feel good to just come back to some of your old habits and just make a grab, call everybody off to make an out.
Just gets your confidence up a little bit more knowing. I know this, as former pitchers always told me, my teammates, pitchers are athletes too. I don't know where that generated from, but if he can come off the mound and make the play, it's going to make him feel good on the mound.
Count sits at 2-1 here on Cade Kern here in the top of the 7th. This one down the third base line, but just squeaks foul as it hits third base. And so that's strike 2 here on Kern. Who do you think is one of the most athletic pitchers that you've ever seen, whether it be at the professional level, collegiate level, just at any point in time?
I mean, the easy answer is Jacob deGrom, who shares the same school as DeFabia out of Stetson, but deGrom was a shortstop at Stetson and didn't pitch until the pro level, so that's part of why he's a better athlete. 6'4" shortstop, bigger guy over there, but I mean, he's just incredible.
Go to the top of the lineup here for Cade Fergus. See, my answer probably would have been Shohei Ohtani. I mean, a guy who obviously one of the biggest stars right now in the game, but you see the way that he hustles around the base paths, the way he is able to swing the bat, and just everything he's able to do, it just makes him really break that moniker of athletes aren't pitchers, or pitchers aren't athletes.
You see, I didn't even think about that one because he hits and plays, and he could play wherever. He could play the outfield too, but because he hits as well as he does, that didn't even pop into my mind. I consider him more of just, I don't even know what the right word to describe him is. I don't think there is a word.
He's unbelievable. Is the best way to put it. Count now 3-0 here on Cade Fergus. And there's strike 1 from DeFabia. Fergus has reached in all 3 of his at-bats tonight. A single in the first, a walk in the third, and then he was the first batter that DeFabia faced in the 6th, and he was hit by a pitch. Here's the 3-1 from the lefty. Grounded through the left side as it's going to find its way just past the diving gloves of Cameron Buford and Cody Colton. And another base runner aboard here for Wareham as Fergus has his second base hit of the night.
That ball just squeezed